Hey, what's up? It's me again. Well, back with another video. Not usually in the mood for making a video this soon after I've already made another one, but I like to make them in the morning before the sun gets too bright. That way I don't look like a silhouette and you see how beautifully white I can look. And one thing I did find is that, I have this stuff that I use to treat my psoriasis, to get rid of some of the inflammation, and I find that putting it on a mild sunburn can help reduce the redness. And of course, time is passing, so I probably don't look so bad anymore. But anyway, what I'd like to talk about, I like to title this video, Don't Be Implacable. Now, I've probably made some similar videos, and I know I'm going to get to the point where I just keep repeating the same things over and over again. Just like always, I just bounce back and forth from one obsession to another. And I have some show and tell today. When I was at the rodeo, they had these beautiful blouses. I love a raglan, which around Thanksgiving, I might wear this on a video. And it says thankful. It simply says thankful on a beautiful golden pumpkin. And it's a miracle that I was able to carry that around with me for the rest of the day at the rodeo and not get it lost. The reason I bought it is there's a lot of Halloween stuff, which you're bombarded with if you go to the store right now. And then there's a lot of Christmas stuff, but not a whole lot of Thanksgiving stuff. And I think that's a shame. You see, they can't make money off of Thanksgiving like they can with the other two, and that's why. And I just got through decorating for Halloween. I put the Halloween tablecloth out, and I put our few little Halloween decorations outside, and that's it. I might have lots of other things I could put out, but at the moment I just don't really feel like it. So anyway, what I'd like to talk about in this video is about trying not to be implacable, or I guess the opposite of implacable would be placable or thankful, like this shirt or blouse says, thankful. And you could apply that to any area of life. There's a lot of areas in which someone could become implacable. When you simply don't ever think you have enough of something. And that's why I couldn't care less about weightlifting or bodybuilding of any sort, because, I'm just not that kind of a person. I don't ever want that to become my obsession, because I unfortunately have too many. And I feel like, the main thing that comes to mind is once again the trans thing, and how I feel like, what causes the most grief with these people is how they just are never satisfied with where they are. And the least satisfied people are the ones who have had the most surgery. And I don't ever want to be in that boat. And, I'm looking at my beautiful face, and I just want to be as content as possible for as long as possible, with how I look and who I am. And I want to keep reminding myself, that I've already achieved everything I want or need to achieve from, quote, living as a male, in the respect that I can't have a baby, I never will have a baby. And so all those people who swore that I would change my mind one day are wrong. I didn't and can't. Okay, but what happens a lot with people being implacable is they'll have a goal somewhere. They'll say, I want to do such and such, okay? But when they achieve such and such, they want to do something more and something more. It's like they don't ever just park it and say, okay, I'm on top of the world. I've achieved what I wanted to achieve. Hallelujah. I can quit now. Okay? And that's why, I've had a few friend requests on Instagram. I don't know how or why they found me, but, these weightlifters or bodybuilders. And I'm a bit hesitant to accept their friend requests because I'm genuinely scared of them. And I would never date a bodybuilder. I would never date someone. First of all, I don't want anyone who could be said to look better than me, which is why I made that video about blue eyes being a deal breaker for obvious reasons. But I don't like the implacability of it. I don't like the way that, people that really get into that, it's like they never have enough gains, so to speak. They never think they have enough muscle mass. Sort of like anorexic people never think they're skinny enough when they're a walking skeleton. And the same thing with people who get tattoos. There are people who look like they'll never be happy until every square inch of their body has ink on it. I don't ever want to get like that. And I sort of look at the areas in my life where I am becoming implacable, which we all have. Everyone has a weakness for something. With me, it's doll buying. And a few years ago, I really began to worry, about becoming like these hoarders on that show that are being thrown out of their house or evicted or something. And I don't want to ever become like that, which is why I started selling them little by little. Now, is it enough to make a difference? I don't know. Am I getting a profit? Probably not. But I started to become very concerned, that if I didn't get rid of some, then I would just be drowning in stuff. And that's why I have to put my foot down with stuff like the toy train that I donated. I have to draw the line somewhere. There has to be a line in the sand wherein I say, I will collect dolls, I will not collect toy trains and other things, because it's bad enough that the doll collection is somewhat taking over my life, so to speak, which is ridiculous as a 38-year-old with no kids. But if I allow other things to creep in, like train sets and other collections, it's like, no, it will really become a city dump between my dad's lack of caring and, my inability to stop buying. It's like, enough is enough. And that's just something that I feel like people need to learn, what their weaknesses are and where to draw the line. And that's also why I'm not watching the Rugrats reboot, because I want to learn to be okay with not knowing everything there is to know about Rugrats history, or any other cartoon. It's like, I can't even force myself to get into most of the others. And I just want to learn how to draw the line and how to have moderation, because I think moderation is key. And in my case, I'm secretly glad my parents don't support me in the whole trans thing, because, I just don't want to go down that road. I don't ever want to be like those people who have had phalloplasty and regret it, because, of course, I would never get it, I never in my life have I ever longed to have that, so to speak. I honestly thought that the most surgery you could possibly have as an FTM was called metoidioplasty, although I didn't know that term. I thought that, what that surgery involves was about the most you could have done, and that is how it should be. That should be the top of the line. You should not, they should stop performing phalloplasties whatsoever, because it's just a horrible surgery. And so I feel like, a lot of times, that is what happens to people, is they just are never satisfied. They always want more, more, more. It's just never enough. And I just don't ever want to get that way. I feel like, the hysterectomy pretty much absolves me of, the embarrassment or shame that I felt about my menstrual cycle, which really that never should have happened. I never should have felt so ashamed of it. It's just a natural body process. And the irony is that you know, supposedly women aren't supposed to have bodily functions, when the reality is that we actually have more bodily functions than men. You know what I'm saying? And I also like never wanted to go through childbirth because it jeopardizes your control over the bodily functions that you even have in common with men, so to speak. You know, number one, and the other one that men are in denial that we even have. So yeah, it's totally ironic, you know, when you think about it, how the saying that girls don't poop and all that. The irony is that the adult female colon is actually 4 inches longer on average than the adult male. So we technically have more poop in our body, or can. And not that peeing is a feminine bodily function, but I mean, if pooping is masculine, you know, peeing is really the only one that girls can talk about in front of men. And the irony there is that the male urethra is the one that is at least 4 inches longer in the male than in the female. So it's ironic, you know, that men can hold more pee in their bodies and women can hold more poop, so to speak. But yet peeing is not feminine, but more acceptable for females, and pooping is considered masculine. But I digress. You know, I just feel so angry when I think about sharing my life with a gender that thinks we're not supposed to fart or poop or whatnot. And we're not supposed to have bodily functions, yet, like I've stated before, you know, childbirth affects the female, not the male. So anyway, I don't ever want to become implacable or think I need all those surgeries to make me happy. You know, I want to just be satisfied with what I have and where I am and how I look. Because if the truth be known, I already have too much facial hair. You know, when my mom is telling me to shave just from looking at a picture, you know, and telling me that's a disgrace, you know, she never thought she'd be telling a daughter to shave. That's already too much facial hair, and I certainly don't need any more body odor. But what I do need is to end this video.